إن الذين يكتمون ما أنزلنا من البينات والهدى من بعد ما بيناه للناس في الكتاب أولئك يلعنهم الله ويلعنهم اللاعنون
নিশ্চয় যারা গোপন করে আমি যে সব বিস্তারিত তথ্য এবং হেদায়েতের কথা নাজিল করেছি মানুষের জন্য কিতাবের মধ্যে বিস্তারিত বর্ণনা করার পরও সে সমস্ত লোকের প্রতি আল্লাহর অভিসম্পাদ এবং অন্যান্য অভিসম্পাদকারীগণেরও।
So now I told you, by the way, the Jews did have this story with them, and they did have the story of of Hajara, and they did have the story of Ismail alayhi salam, but they didn't want to legitimize it at all. Because if they legitimize that story and show that a miracle happened, for which baby? The wrong one, right? For Ismail, the father of the Arabs, or the descendants of Ishmael, the wrong side of the family. Then if they legitimize that, then their special status is gone. So everything that has to do with giving legitimacy to the Ismail side of Ibrahim's family, they kind of buried. They didn't want to talk about it, even if it was there. And they changed it around. Like some of our ulama talk about how the Jews in Medina, instead of saying, they said, yes, the first house of Allah was built at the location of Sakka. Instead of, they changed the book from Bakka to Sakka. How clever, right? Where's Sakka? We don't know anymore. Right? Anything that legitimized the legacy of Ibrahim alayhi salam to the Arabs, they would try to omit, they would try to erase. Okay? So now, in that context, Allah, listen to the next ayah. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْتُمُونَ مَا أَنزَلْنَا مِنَ الْبَيِّنَاتِ وَالْهُدَى. No doubt about it, those who hide what we have sent down from the clearest proofs and guidance. Here what's first implied, the clearest proof is Safa and Marwa. It's still there, water's still coming out. It's still staring you in the face. How can you deny that sign? It's right there in your face. But those who still deliberately hide it and do so, مِن بَعْدِ مَا بَيَّنَّاهُ لِلنَّاسِ فِي الْكِتَابِ, even though we have clarified it very thoroughly for people in the book. And Allah says, لِلنَّاسِ, we've clarified it not just for them, but for all people. In other words, this sign is a miracle and a gift for Allah, not just to the Jews, but to everybody. And of course, the primary beneficiaries of the water, of Zamzam are who? Is it Bani Israel or is it the Arabs? It's the Arabs. And that's another problem for Bani Israel. Why would Allah especially favor non-Jews? Why would He favor Gentiles? They're not special people. If we accept that they've been given special favor, then what happens to our special status? So they kind of buried that story away altogether, right? And Allah makes mention, if they hide it, then what should happen to these people? أُولَٰئِكَ يَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّهُ. Those are the people, Allah curses them. أُولَٰئِكَ يَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّهُ. There's a really stern language here. Ulaika, how can I put this to you guys in simpler English? Like, when you're really angry about a bunch of people, and I know some people are going to be listening to this on audio, so they won't be able to see this, right? But those guys, and then you start a sentence all over again. Like ulaik by itself, yal'anuhumullah. It's like a new sentence. It's isti'naf. It's the anger of Allah expressed. In just ulaik, yal'anuhumullah. Allah will curse them. Allah has cursed them. And Allahu yal'anuhum is a statement of shock even. Jumla ismiya. It's jumla fi'liya, it's a natural. Allah has cursed them. It's a statement of fact. It's a done deal. It shouldn't even come as a surprise. Yal'anuhumullah. Allah curses them. Wa yal'anuhum al-la'inun. And those who are created just for the purpose of cursing, curse them. In other words, there are angels Allah created, just like there are angels whose only job is to do tasbih of Allah. There are angels Allah created whose only job is to curse this creation, so that the curse is round the clock. That's just for that reason. Al-la'inun. Of course, al-la'inun also means on the Day of Judgment. On the Day of Judgment, their own children, their own followers, their own leaders, the believers, everyone around them will be cursing them. Even the Quraysh of Makkah. You were the knowledgeable people. You should have been the first ones to tell us that we shouldn't be doing shirk. The people who knew about Tawheed even before the messenger came, ﷺ, were the people of the book. They're the ones, and they said, these pagans don't deserve that message. This is for us. This is only for us. This is why Allah Azza wa Jal before when he mentioned Ibrahim alayhi salam, and even before, in this surah, he legitimized us as an ummah. He made us لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. So you may become witnesses against all of humanity. Unlike the previous nation who thought this message is for us, let those guys go to hell if they want to go to hell, who cares? We don't have to deliver a message to them. Right? So they became completely oblivious to what happens to other nations. That is not the attitude of a Muslim. A Muslim is concerned about all of humanity, not because we're, humanitarians, but because Allah told us to be. That's just part of being a member of the ummah. You have to be concerned for all of humanity. Okay? Now I want to share with you something before we go on about this ayah in particular. Allah did not specifically mention that they hid Safa and Marwa as a fact, or they hid the Qibla as a fact, even though that's obvious from the context. But Allah made the language general. Whoever hides what we have sent down from the book. Whoever hides what we have sent down from the book, what happens? Allah curses them, and those who are designed to created to curse them. Two kinds of creations curse them. Okay, that's on the one hand. On the one hand, people who hide the book.